I would like all wrestlers to succeed. Positivity brings positivity, and if you get all doom and gloom, you're gonna be a sad panda. Also feels like the word flopped is very subjective here, because really, if you sign a WWE deal, you've made it. Imagine being told that the day after you took your first bump, you'd be over the moon. We of course all have expectations, however, and really this video is more about WWE letting good talent down. I am Simon Miller, bald a-hole. Let's talk about it. Number 8, Dean Malenko. So this is a perfect example because Dean Malenko was great. Before they put him in ridiculous matches, you could see it every single week in WCW. If you are looking for a technical master, you will struggle to find better. Dean made wrestling look legit, and he kind of made it look terrifying. The issue though is Vince McMahon's WWE didn't care about that. Character and gimmicks were far more important. So as soon as Malenko signed in 2000, it was only going to be a short while before he got doled up with some mad idea. And what did we pick? A James Bond gimmick. That's right, to this day I don't know why. What about the Iceman Scream 007? Malenko was also put in the light heavyweight division, and even people there at the time will tell you that title was only introduced so that WWF could be like for like with WCW. The latter's cruiserweight division was half the reason fans wanted to watch the undercard. It was brilliant. And as for the World Wrestling Federation version, well, nobody talks about it today. You can still find gems during Malenko's WWE run because he was that good, but yeah. These days, he would be way higher up the card from in-ring prowess alone. Can you imagine him at AEW? Man was the best. Number 7, Hideo Itami. Or Kenta, and yes, I mean that Kenta, we don't even need to argue this one. The man himself has done many an interview saying he didn't enjoy his time in NXT because WWE didn't use him in the right way, and essentially sat him down and said, you know all that innovative offense you have, you're not allowed to use it. What a stupid decision. It was a huge deal because let us be clear about this, Kenta changed the game. Half your current favourites borrowed moves from the dude, and they loved his style so much they copied him. Nobody was cooler than Kenta in Japan, somebody put it on a t-shirt. Therefore, when he did get picked up in 2014, it was a massive deal because it wasn't the usual move that WWE would make. That's why NXT back then was so awesome. It opened up so many doors. He had to go through a name change because of course he did, and that actually helps now. Kenta equals great. Hideo Itami was basically a missed opportunity. It started well as he had top tier matches with Tyler Breeze, but in terms of the main roster, the closest he ever got was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 31. I think my nan may have been in that one. Sums it up. Really what held him back were just some super unfortunate injuries that always seemed to come about at the worst time. It meant Itami could never get any momentum as he came and went constantly. NXT itself went through so many iterations, he just got lost in the shuffle. And also, the NXT parking lot was not nice to him. The inventor of the GTS was then used as fodder for the likes of Bobby Roode and Aleister Black before he got released, and he was only there 3 years. Such a major disappointment. Oh, what could have been. Number 6, Sin Cara. All you need to know is that Sin Cara is Mystico in CMLL today. Go and watch that guy, it's genuinely amazing. The truth, though, is that this is what he was like before WWE signed him in 2011, which is why Triple H went after the man to begin with. Paul Levesque was brand new in his head of talent relations role, so wanted to find the next Rey Mysterio, which of course is WWE's favourite term. Everybody thought this would be a home run too. It was not. It just felt like the world was against the newly dubbed Sin Cara from day one, even when it came to his entrance. He kept screwing it up, which was a shame because it was quite cool. He would jump off a trampoline and soar into the ring. I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. The first time I saw Sin Cara was at a house show event, and I didn't know he had this entrance, so I just thought he was that agile. Yes, I'm a moron. The word was always he held himself like a star backstage too, which rubbed the rest of the roster the wrong way. That always seemed strange. You're always told to act like the man you want to become, but as he was not already the man, he got told no. I mean, scratch your head and just say what. I think it all got on his head because it soon affected his matches too, as many a compilation video were made of Sin Cara slipping in the ring, or just not having the same pep in his step. I would assume he just lost his confidence. It can happen to the best of us. There was then wellness policy violations as he was shown the door, although the character wasn't. WWE just put Hunico under the mask because they were that desperate to make the gimmick work. I don't think Triple H wanted to admit this had failed. Of course, it didn't happen, and the fact that Mystico then returned to CMLL and became the biggest thing in Mexico, well, it was just wild. Must have been something in the WWE water. It wasn't meant to be. Number 5, DDP. Diamond Dallas Page was horribly miscast in WWE. Put it like this. In WCW, he was the people's champion before even The Rock started to say it, and the audience was totally fine with that. It's how they saw DDP too, a guy who had proven all the critics wrong and been a babyface world champion who was actually liked. In 1998, that was unheard of. He was so ready to continue his career, he sacrificed a lot of money to get out of his WCW deal to sign with WWE, and man, they ruined him instantly. The debut was awesome as when Page removed his balaclava on Raw, the crowd lost their minds, and all of a sudden it hit home. Oh no, he was going to be revealed as the secret stalker of The Undertaker and his wife? I mean, why are we doing this, not DDP? It just didn't compute because he had no reason to do this, and it's sort of underlined Vince McMahon likely didn't watch World Championship Wrestling. Taker was also booked to kill this dude, so just beat him up at every turn, and even Sarah got a pin over him. We just pulled the legs out from underneath Diamond Dallas Page. He soon became a smiling motivational speaker alongside Christian, and while that was fun, it was proper lower mid-card stuff. If WWE had just treated DDP like he was in WCW, who knows where his ceiling would be? He probably could have had a world title run for sure. He was beloved, man. This was so damn dumb. Number 4, Toni Storm. People forget this nowadays, but before Toni Storm signed with WWE, she was basically the indie queen. Didn't just walk through the door. Toni had travelled the world, smashing it in the UK and Japan, and it became quite obvious she was going to make it one way or the other. Triple H must have felt the same as Storm beat Io Sky in the 2018 Mae Young Classic Finals before feuding with Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler, and mostly all of that ruled. She was soon called up to SmackDown, and from there, I mean, yeah, who the flub knows? The big talking point was that segment with Charlotte Flair where the Queen threw a pie in her face, and Toni was told to sell it like she was the saddest person in the world. It just came off strange and awkward. They then had a match for the women's title, and Storm lost, so she didn't even get revenge. People were so baffled. WWE needed new females to feud with their top stars, and the powers that be flushed it away. It was so bad, it certainly feels like Toni asked for her release, and she got it. To this day, we don't have much information, so something must have gone on, but the proof is in the aftermath. Because she joined AEW and after a while became the timeless one before establishing herself as one of the most popular performers of the modern day. Storm even said during an interview she had no idea what WWE wanted from her and would have loved to have sat down and come up with some out-of-the-box ideas. So Toni Storm is absolutely one that got away. We could have and should have done so much more, yet for some reason, WWE just didn't. Number 3, JC Mateo. So we only put the former Jeff Cobb in here because I want to manifest the change. I mean, just go and watch the man in New Japan. Where is that guy? Now, it's not too late either. A copy and paste job will do, it will work. A big man throwing dudes around with ease is always awesome. It's been so strange ever since he did debut to help Solo Sikoa though, because JC Mateo, as he was named, just stands in the background kind of looking like he doesn't know what's going on. I get he's part of the MFTs, but that doesn't mean he needs to be a mute. WWE seemingly also told him not to wear his old ring gear, which is way better than just black. Cobb was a colourful clothes wearer. We've seen Jeff as part of a stable before too, as he was in Will Ospreay's United Empire as the Heavy, so WWE could also just copy that and it would be totally fine. If nothing else, don't want to be that guy, but it is better than the current choice. Like, does anybody actually know he's a former Olympian or has faced a who's who in the entire industry? I don't think so, and that's because seemingly we have taken away all the things that made him unique. Again though, there's still time, and talent usually does rise to the top. If we are trying to make Solo's team look like badasses, however, just allow Mateo to shine in the way we know he can. If every single member increases their worth, then the whole team does too. It really has been very bizarre, and I tell you, my friends, I hope WWE goes and proves me wrong. Number 2, Steve Williams. I can only assume WWE was ready to push Steve Williams, as Jim Ross had convinced Vince McMahon to have him as a feud for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Always makes me laugh. If we got rid of kayfabe names, this literally would have been Steve Williams versus Steve Williams. Rather than just let Dr. Death get some worked wins though, WWE had the grand idea to put him in the Brawl for All. This was a shoot fighting tournament and one of the stupidest things the promotion has ever done. If you tell fans these bouts are legit, you're actively saying the rest are fake. It was ridiculous. It also meant WWE weren't in control, so surprise, surprise, during a scrap with Bart Gunn, Williams pulled his hamstring and then got knocked out cold. Nothing you could do after that, his aura was gone. Nobody thought he was going to be a viable contender to the hottest star in the industry. If you go and watch Steve in Japan especially, it was all there too. This could have worked. And while Williams wasn't WWF champion material as something different for the Rattlesnake, it would have been very, very good. Instead we did this. It was a total error. And I tell you, my friends, Dr. Death Steve Williams never recovered. Number 1, Ricochet. Right, let me make this clear. Ricochet had a great run in WWE. He signed for NXT in 2018 when that brand was so hot, and he made it even better. His in-ring skills were unmatched, and talk about earning the contract. Rick was one of the best wrestlers on the scene, full stop. Just walked in and carried it on. Do you remember that time he flipped out of the ring to confront the Velveteen Dream? It's the coolest thing you'd ever seen in your life. The issue as ever was when he did get called up, because I don't think Vince McMahon got it, or just saw him as a flippy dude. He still had some top feuds and never let himself down, but he was kept at a very specific level and never allowed to level up. Some people cited this was down to his promo skills, but look what he's done in AEW. They gave him time to find his character, and now he is a shib-talking asshole, and it's been great. The man knows how to wind people up. I think he'd be the first guy to tell you this as well, because that's why he did leave in 2023. He saw his future and felt like his fire for wrestling had burned out. He wanted to rediscover that passion, and he did so in AEW, and really he's like a performer reborn. There's no reason we couldn't have at least tried this in WWE, especially when they did need new blood at the top of the card, and even if it didn't work, who cares, so what? You have so much TV. Instead, he was kind of put in this very specific lane from day one, and that was that. And I tell you, my dudes, we could have done so much more with this guy, and for whatever reason, we just didn't. Know of any other performers that didn't make it in WWE and then likely went on to a different promotion where it did all come together? Make sure you let us know in the comments below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. You can also click the video on the screen to get even more WWE trivia in your life. But otherwise, my friends, you know the deal. Have a terrific day. I will give you a peppercorn, and I will speak to you soon.